Hi there and welcome to the section on constructing the bass part. Now that we have most of the fundamental elements in place, next on the list is the bass, and like before, we'll be using FL Studio's Citrus synthesizer. So this will be the shortest and most straightforward section of the course, and keeping in mind the stage of learning that we're currently covering, we've opted for a simple offbeat bass line pattern with some slight variations. So when I say offbeat, I'm referring to the space between each beat of the bar. So in this case, the bass note will arrive straight after the kick drum ends. You can't really get any simpler than a pattern such as this, but as always, feel free to use the project file to experiment with other rhythms if you're feeling up to it. So let's go ahead and open Citrus. And as I mentioned before, sound design isn't a part of this course, so we're going to just head straight to the preset bank, and I'm going to choose the preset called Deep. Now let's start entering the rhythm and notes over the course of 8 bars. I'm going to solo out the drum parts to act as a guide while creating this pattern, so let's just go first back into the playlist and mute all those. So here we start off at the C sharp and drop down almost an octave, down to the D sharp, and then up to E. And then to D sharp. And then B. Before returning back up to C sharp. So the offbeat notes help to leave room for the kick to hit on the downbeat every time. Now both the kick and bass drum occupy similar space in the frequency spectrum, so when making your own bass parts, keep in mind how the two elements interplay and avoid a clash wherever possible. Another technique that I would recommend to you when creating an integrated kick and bass is something called sidechain compression. Now I mentioned this concept in passing in the previous section, but it can help in keeping the kick and bass in harmony. There are endless tutorials for this on YouTube, so as always, if you're keen to know more, just go ahead and check some of it out. So let's just finally hear what everything sounds like together so far. The only change we need to make is to bring this B up to the C sharp. So now that we're finished constructing all of the individual components of the song, it's time now to move on to arranging these parts via the playlist. So I'll see you in the next section for the arrangement.